Joe Biden said that 10 to 15% of Americans aren't very good people. Was he lying though? Joe Biden said that 10 to 15% of Americans are not very good people. Was he lying though? In, fam, just to give an example, in 2017, Pew Research came out with the General Social Survey finding that 14% of non-black adults in America said that they would have a problem with their child or a close relative marrying somebody who was black. You have people who are still opposed to interracial marriage. You have people who are still opposed to same-sex marriage. You have people who still believe the statement, blacks' status in America is only due to will, not due to racism of any kind. You have people who believe all sorts of things. You want to tell me that you can't find 10 to 15% of Americans who believe any number of ugly views? 10 to 15% of Americans, let's call them the tragic 10th. This tragic 10th of Americans, they're not the majority. They're not even a plurality. They just happen to have a loud voice. They happen to have media presence. They happen to have social media presence. And they happen to have the president's ear sometimes. These people exist up to, let's call it how it is. We're talking 10 to 15% of the American population, up to 40 million people, 40 to 50 million people have disgusting views. People who don't want to live next to people of other races. People who don't want to have any LGBT friends. These are not very good people. Bigots are not very good people. These are the deplorables that Hillary was talking about, although she may have overestimated the number, but these are the people that we've been talking about for years. These are the people that are causing all of the problems. These are the people that are causing the divisions. You have people who believe that America is a white nation and that it has a white majority that should be preserved at all costs. The keystone belief of white nationalism. You want to tell me that that's not espoused by 10% of the population? 10 to 15% of the population, yes, has serious issues. But the good news is that it's only 10 to 15% of the population. The other 85 to 90% of us need to come together, increase our unity, break down the divisions between us, and build more bridges so that the voice of this tragic 10th of Americans isn't heard as much as it is. In these protests, this slice of America is making their voice heard, and so should the rest of us be. Those of us who believe in unity, those of us who are anti-racist, those of us who are anti-fascist, stand up and be recognized, stand up and represent. There's nothing wrong with loving your neighbor. Peace.